All right, plant people, ready to talk watering.
Always ready for that.
We're diving deep with Home and Jungle today. They have this awesome video all about keeping your house plants happy and hydrated.
The channel is great.
The best. They're total pros, and they really break things down.
Yeah, and they don't just tell you what to do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They explain the why, which I think is so important for, really getting good at plant care.
It's like they're giving you the cheat codes to, speak your plant's language.
Totally.
And one of the first things they emphasize, which I love, is drainage. Like drainage.
Which is crucial.
Pots with drainage holes, non-negotiable.
Seriously. Think about it from the plant's perspective. Sitting in soggy soil, it's like trying to breathe underwater, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Roots need oxygen to survive, and if they're drowning...
They can't exactly come up for air.
Exactly. It's basically suffocation.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all that dampness, it's like an open invitation for, bacteria and fungi.
Root rot city.
Exactly.
So no drainage equals dead plants.
Pretty much.
Got it. It's kind of amazing how something so simple can make such a huge difference.
Absolutely. And that actually leads perfectly into their next point, which is all about the, actual technique of watering.
Okay, bring it on.
Home and Jungle, they are big fans of top-down watering. And they actually show this in the video with, I think it's a snake plant?
Sansevieria.
Yes, a Sansevieria. Classic.
So what makes top-down watering so much better? I'll admit, I've definitely done the whole bottom watering thing, where you let the plant sit in a dish of water and soak it up. What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, it seems intuitive, right? Let the roots take what they need. But here's the thing. Roots. Not as smart as we think.
Oh, no. Mom.
They don't have, a built-in shut-off valve.
So they'll just keep drinking until they drown.
Pretty much. And with bottom watering, it's really hard to tell how much water they're actually taking in.
That makes sense.
But with top-down watering, you see that excess water draining out. You're not overdoing it.
So top-down it is. Okay, but how much water are we talking? What's the magic number?
Well, in the video, they use about 20 centiliters for the Sansevieria.
Yeah.
But honestly, the main takeaway is less is more.
Okay, underwatering is better than overwatering.
Way better. You can always add a little more water, but it's way harder to fix a plant that's drowning.
That's good advice for life in general, I think.
Right.
So how can you tell if your plant is thirsty? Besides the obvious, dramatic wilting.
Well, Home and Jungle, they're all about the finger test.
The finger test.
Yeah. Might seem old school, but...
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. They even talk about those moisture meters, but...
I've tried those.
They can be hard to read,
Yeah.
Sticking your finger in the soil, you get instant feedback.
So what should we be feeling for?
You want that sweet spot, right? Not bone dry, but not soaking wet either.
Okay, so if it's still damp, hold off on the watering can.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But if it's dry, an inch down, it's probably time for a drink.
It's all about trusting your gut, or your finger, I guess.
Right.
So we're plant detectives now, feeling out the soil, checking for clues.
Right. It's like a whole other level of plant parenting.
Definitely. And speaking of being in tune with our plants' needs, Home and Jungle, they had a really interesting point about watering schedules.
Oh, yeah. They're not big fans of rigid schedules.
Which I totally get. I used to be Sunday's watering day, but...
Doesn't always work out that way.
It does not. My plants were not happy.
Yeah. It's assuming every person in your life wants to eat lunch at the same time.
Right. Some people are it's 11's time, and I'm I just had breakfast.
Exactly. Our plants are the same way. They've got different needs depending on the season, the temperature, how much light they're getting.
Even the humidity in our homes can make a difference, right?
Absolutely.
So besides our detective work with the finger test, what are some other signs that a plant is ready for a drink? What am I looking for?
Well, wilting, obviously.
Of course, yeah. But hopefully we're catching it before it gets to that point.
Right. So, have you ever noticed your plant's leaves looking a little, dull?
Not as vibrant?
Yeah. Maybe a bit paler than usual or even a little yellowish?
My peace lily, for sure. If I'm even a day late with the watering can, it starts to look a little sad.
That's your plant sending out an SOS. Help me, I'm thirsty.
Oh, and the soil. Sometimes it'll start to pull away from the edges of the pot, right?
Exactly. You might even see little cracks on the surface.
It's like the soil itself is saying, water me. Okay, this is good. I'm learning so much.
I love it.
Now, Home and Jungle, they also touch on watering tools in the video.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to say, this surprised me.
What's that?
They're not as gung-ho about watering cans as I thought they would be.
Really?
I know, right? I thought those were essential plant parent equipment.
Well, they can be useful. But you definitely don't need anything fancy. Remember that glass of water we talked about with the Sansevieria? Sometimes simple is best.
So true. It's about function, not fashion. What about when we travel? Any tips from the pros on keeping our plants alive while we're living our best vacation lives?
They do have some good advice on that, yeah. Like if you can't find a plant-loving friend to water for you,
The struggle is real.
they suggest a few things you can do to prep your plants before you go.
Okay, so like what? Give him a little pep talk. Be strong, little buddy. I'll be back soon.
A little encouragement never hurts. But one thing they emphasize is grouping your plants together,
Oh, interesting. Like create a little plant party while I'm gone.
basically. It helps to create a little microclimate, which can help keep the humidity levels more stable. But you want to make sure you group plants with similar needs, of course.
Right. Don't stick a cactus next to a fern and hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, plant parties. Got it. What else can we do?
Another simple one is moving them out of direct sunlight while you're gone.
Oh, to reduce evaporation?
Exactly. Less light means they won't dry out as fast.
Brilliant. A vacation from the sun for everyone. Anything else?
Let's see. Oh, they also mentioned tray watering,
Huh.
especially helpful for, the thirstier plants.
Tray watering. Remind me how that works again.
Sure. You just take a shallow tray, put a little water in it, and then you set your plant pot right on top. The water is absorbed up through the drainage holes.
Ah, so it's kind of like bottom watering, but gentler.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. It's like a self-serve water station for plants. Okay, any other words of wisdom from Home and Jungle before we move on?
Well, I think their biggest message is really just about observation. Like becoming a successful plant parent, it's not about memorizing a bunch of rules.
It's about really seeing your plants.
Yes, paying attention to what they need.
Building that relationship.
Exactly.
So much good stuff, right? It's amazing how much there is to learn about, like, just watering.
I know, it's a whole world.
Who knew? But that's what I love about these deep dives. You always learn something new. So big picture, with Home and Jungle, it's not just about how much we water, it's about all of it, right?
Right, the when, the how, the why.
Yeah, and they really get into the why, which I think is so helpful.
It's crucial because, anyone can tell you to water your plants, right? But when you understand the reasoning behind it,
You can start to anticipate your plant's needs a little better.
exactly, you become a better plant parent.
Which is the goal, right? Happy, healthy plants.
Absolutely. And, it really just goes to show you, you can learn so much just from, slowing down and observing.
Yeah, being present.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Our plants, they might not speak our language, but
They're definitely trying to tell us something.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's up to us to, pay attention.
It reminds me of that quote, like, to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow.
Oh, I love that.
Me too. Okay, plant friends, that's our deep dive for today. Hopefully you're feeling ready to ditch those rigid watering schedules.
And really start listening to your plants.
Yes. Remember, every droop, every wilt, every weird little brown spot, it's your plant trying to tell you something.
They're giving you clues.
Exactly. So put on your detective hat, get your fingers dirty, literally, and don't be afraid to experiment a little. And if you're looking for even more plant wisdom, make sure to check out Home and Jungle on YouTube.
Amazing channel. You won't regret it.
So much good stuff. All right, until next time, happy planting.